Welcome to Highly Questionable. I'm Izzy Gutierrez. Dan is still trying to find a trampoline that'll support him, so it's a Frankie Friday. And, of course, we've got Gonzalo. Frank, what do you like on the show today?
You know what? The next time we see Clayton Kershaw, he could be pitching for the Dodgers season.
Vamos, Papi.
If the Rams beat the Packers on Sunday, would you start believing 16-0 is a legit possibility?
Oh, there are a lot of good games on this NFL Sunday coming up, but I think this has to be the most intriguing one here, where you've got the lone undefeated in the Rams against that one-man team in Aaron Rodgers. And I understand the Rams are supposed to win this one, but against Aaron Rodgers, you never know what's going to happen. I will say, if they do win this game and they start to get that feel of a team that could be undefeated, you might have a lot of people jumping on this bandwagon, because what's the reason why they will lose? What's their downfall? What's their Achilles heel? We haven't seen it yet, but the schedule does get really tough. After this Packers game, they're at the Saints, they play the Seahawks, and then the game everybody's looking forward to all year in Mexico City against Kansas City, and they still have the Eagles left on the schedule. So undefeated is a far way to go, but you still really need to start thinking about this Rams team in terms of comparing them to some of the all-time greats. They could be that good right now.
Yes, but the all-time greats, it all ends with a Super Bowl. And if you go back to the year that New England went undefeated, remember they played some high-pressure games. Late in the season, they beat the Giants at Giants Stadium. That was a great win. Then you could see there was a lot more pressure as they went through it. If I'm Sean McVay, you're not ever going into a week saying, it wouldn't be the worst thing if we lose. But if they end up with one or two losses going into the playoffs and they have home field advantage, I actually think he's going to be okay with it. Hey, even look at the Golden State Warriors, the great regular season that they had. They didn't win it. And it almost seems like all that pressure builds up. The only team maybe it doesn't apply to, of course, is the Boston Red Sox.
And even though they haven't won a Super Bowl yet, because they're undefeated, because there's all this talk, they have that target on their back. Aaron Rodgers and the Packers need to get their season back on track. There's one easy way to do it. Beat the Rams. Prove you're still good. I'd be scared to death of Aaron Rodgers.
And that's the thing. When the Patriots won, or when they went 16-0, won their two playoff games, they at least had won a Super Bowl before. So they had proven something. Yes, they came up short, but they already accomplished that. The Rams are going to be judged not on the great regular season. It's going to be how they do in January and early February.
Wow, 16 wins in one season. It used to take Jeff Fisher 3 seasons to get 16 wins.
Man,
3.
So true, though. It's so true.
Is this weekend Saints-Vikings game a battle of contenders or just a battle for second place in the NFC?
Normally, Saints-Vikings would be on the top of the list in terms of games you want to watch. Maybe it's number 2 this week, but it is a great game, and I think it's a game between contenders. Never mind that the NFL is full of parity normally, and anybody can win in a one-game setting in the playoffs, so it's hard to guarantee who's going to make the Super Bowl. But these two teams still look like teams that are on the come-up. You have the Saints after a couple of weeks who seemed like they've gotten their act back together. And that Vikings D, it is back. Last week against the Jets, had a great performance, and they had some defensive linemen out. They had the backups come in and still have great performances. So I think in this game, you're going to look at that Saints defense being pressured a lot by deep throws by Kirk Cousins, because they didn't face that very much the last couple of weeks. And Thielen and Diggs, remember the Minnesota Miracle? Those two are going to be the Saints' biggest nightmare.
Yeah, and the Saints deserved to win that game last season. They blew that. But now you look at the way New Orleans is playing, especially with Drew Brees. He knows that he's getting toward the end of his career. He's playing like a guy that is going for it. He wants one more Super Bowl. He was terrific last week in Baltimore, and I understand they caught a big break. The extra point hit the upright. It should have been a tie game. But there's something about this New Orleans team. 5-1 going into the game, and let's not forget Minnesota. That tie that they had with Green Bay at some point could really come back to haunt them.
The Ravens are good. That was a quality win, regardless of how it came.
Oh, the line is that Minnesota is favored to win by 1 at home. You know what that means? That they are not sure that they're going to win, because usually when you're at home, you win by 3 plus, But I got news for you. Kirk Cousins is going to be up to that task, boy. Kirk Cousins got that defense so fired up. Kirk Cousins is going to say, you see that little guy there, Drew Brees, go after his and bury him. Just slam him into the ground. And I tell you one thing, we got to win by at least 15 or 20 points. It's going to be a blowout at home.
Seconds before this, he said, Drew Brees, of course he's going to beat Kirk Cousins.
Who needs a win in London more, the Eagles or Jaguars?
Bloke Bortles is back in England for the 4th time. He's 3-0 in London, by the way. The best quarterback the NFL has ever seen, according to the British. But I do think it feels like the Eagles need this win more, just because it feels like there's going to be more substance to their season. It feels like the Jaguars season is kind of a disaster. Their tight end's not there. Their running back, Leonard Fournette's not there. Their receivers, Marquise Lee's not there. And the rest of them are kind of average. And so you're putting more on Blake Bortles that he didn't have to do last year. The Eagles need this win to look like a Super Bowl team again. They need to be the team that can come back and be some semblance of what they were last year. They don't have as many excuses as the Jaguars do. So you're going to have to go and beat a Jaguars team. And yes, they've lost by 16 and 33 and 13 their last 3 games. But again, Bortles is a beast in London.
Now, if you're asking everyone in Great Britain who needs to win this weekend, they're going to say Tottenham, who gets first place Manchester City. If you're over here in America, you're going to say Jacksonville, because Jacksonville has been outscored 90-28 in the last 3 games. What has happened to Jacksonville? And you can't sit here and just blame Blake Bortles. The defense has to take some accountability. Where's Jalen Ramsey? He loves to talk all the time. You don't really hear him that much. I would think for Blake Bortles, you need to do something and do it quickly, because the team is losing a lot of confidence in you. They're losing confidence in the offense. And by the way, Doug Marrone, remember when you went for the 2-point conversion late against the Jets? You've lost 3 straight games since then. Maybe karma. What do they say? I'm not going to say it. It's a kid's show.
Should the Dodgers feel comfortable handling the ball to Clayton Kershaw this weekend?
No, not necessarily, because frankly, it's not like there's going to be that much at stake. Here's the thing. This is a team that's being overmatched by the Red Sox. And I think we've kind of closed the book on the whole Clayton Kershaw dynamic in terms of his storyline as a playoff performer. He is not the same person. He's this guy in the playoffs. And now you've got him past his prime, asking him to save you when you good? Asking him to save you when the rest of your team is underperforming as well. I think the pressure, frankly, a little bit like David Price, is kind of off. You sure? All right. It's kind of off Clayton Kershaw, and he can't perform reasonably well. But I don't think you go in with expectations to say, hey, I want to see the Clayton Kershaw, who's something like a Madison Bumgarner, who can perform in the postseason. I think that book is closed.
See, Clayton Kershaw didn't do this in Game 5 against the Brewers. He didn't do that when they brought him into Game 7 against the Brewers. Now, he did do that in Game 1 when the Dodgers tied the game, and then he couldn't even get an out in the 5th inning. Here's the thing. When he pitches on Saturday, Papi, get ready. They're either fighting to stay alive, down 3-0, or he has a chance to even up the series. I have faith in Clayton Kershaw, and here you go, Papi. He's going to pitch Game 7 in Boston. No choke.
Coming up next on Highly Questionable.
Is that South Beach?
You know what this is? This is some version of Frogger that is way more dangerous. Holy... Don't they have tools or devices for this? Like, that's terrible for your shoulder.
This is like an old episode of Gilligan's Island.
Or Final Destination.
Oh.
And now, a thought from Geico Motorcycle. It took 15 minutes to purchase the gas station egg salad. Eat the gas station egg salad. And regret the gas station egg salad as you presented numbers to the board. To add insult to injury, you could have used those 15 egg salad minutes to switch your motorcycle insurance to Geico. Uh-oh. Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on motorcycle insurance.
Time to play the game that is having a party at Dan's house this weekend, and everyone is invited. Do you question?
This is how it works. You give us the topics and events. We question them.
Do you question if this biker had the right idea?
I'm not much of a biker, but I believe getting up randomly out of your bike during the middle of a race is not a good idea. Let's check in with this guy. Where are they racing?
Is that South Beach?
You know what this is? This is some version of Frogger that is way more dangerous. Holy... Woo!
Oh! It was a setup from the start.
Risking his own life multiple times, and possibly risking the lives of others, by the way. And at what point did your bike really become that important?
Bike week on South Beach is crazy. Look at this. By the way, he might want to keep running because they're going to be chasing after him pretty soon.
Well, that was bad, but I think that it could have been worse.
No way.
Oh.
Well, that just looks entirely out of place.
Oh.
There really should be a no parking sign there. I mean,
He's got to apologize to a lot of people.
Nobody was injured.
all right. Don't fact check that.
Do you question who won this fight?
Question we like to ask around here all the time. Normally it's involving two humans or at least two of the same species. This is against a man and an inanimate object. Oh.
One more time. One more time. Oh my God. It's coming.
Oh! You cannot treat your skateboard that way. You have to treat it with love. Now, let's find out if this guy was injured.
By the way, the skateboard, it looks like it's smiling almost.
Yes, you need to take that L, skateboarder.
This is a smiling face from the skateboard.
By the way, get yourself a new one. That thing looks like it's at least 20 years old.
Oh, I've seen a skateboard snapping like that before. You know, every time Dan gets on one of those, you know,
I was
they
going
just
to
break
finish
like
that
that.
joke for
Back.
you.
Do you question if this was a well-thought-out plan?
I mean, it's a construction worker lifting a steel beam. What could go wrong? Don't they have tools or devices for this? Like, that's terrible for your shoulder.
This is like an old episode of Gilligan's Island.
Or Final Destination.
Oh. The ladder's not going to hold
This
him.
cannot be up to code. Is this in the States?
This is why you're the foreman and not the worker.
This looks super shaky.
And I think he's telling me you crazy.
Come on, you can do it.
Oh,
That's
There we
right, you
go.
can do it.
Get
There
up
you
there.
go, there you go. There we go.
oh
there
no,
we go.
little help. Little help. I don't want to celebrate too soon.
A success story.
Yeah, he made it. Look at that.
He made it. How about that? Is a terrible idea.
Now go get the other one.
Well, that was impressive, but really it was kind of a short ladder, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, let's try to do it in one of those, you know what I mean?
You can see it curving.
That's
There's
right.
no way that that's safe. What is he? Is he changing an air conditioning filter? Can't you do that from the inside?
Look how calm he is. He's like Papi.
This show gives me anxiety.
Do you question if this squirrel should consider this move a success?
I mean, listen, we overanalyze every single play in football, every single play in basketball in the last 2 minutes. So why wouldn't we naturally criticize a squirrel for this move here? That's a bird. Oh, man. That is a squirrel in a bird feeder, not trying to get some food, just trying to have a good time. I think that's brilliant. Looks like a kid in a playground right there. By the way, squirrels creep me out, man. Whoa.
He got it. They know how to get
Wow,
the food.
that is
It worked.
win-win for that squirrel, man.
Brilliant.
Squirrels are scary, man. They're rats with fuzzy tails.
Now he just can't stand up, though. When he stands up, he gets a little wobbly from spinning around so much. It happens.
Well, you know, that squirrel wasn't that impressive. I have seen more athletic squirrel.
Wow. It's a couple of them.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that.
Are you?
A running start.
That's right.
What's it?
He's ready. He's ready to. Oh, there
Are
we
you
go.
kidding me?
All right. That was a hell of a
I'm
jump. Look at
telling
that.
you,
That's
they're
right.
way smarter than we think they are.
right.
They're ridiculously frightening.
He figured I'll either get the bird or I'll get the bird food. Either way, he was going to eat.
Highly questionable is broadcast from the Clevelander Hotel on beautiful South Beach, Miami. Time to play the game whose triceps are so sore from how many pull steps. See? Oh no.
You really got to stretch afterward. That way you won't be sore anymore. You tell us to watch on TV tonight. We'll tell you if we're intrigued.
Saturday on CBS, the world's largest outdoor cocktail party. Number 9, Florida versus number 7, Georgia.
I'm pretty sure we're not allowed to call it that anymore, but there it is. And, of course, it's my Gators. Of course I'm going to be intrigued. They even got a guy that Papi would like at quarterback, Felipe Franks. How could you not love that dude? And let me ask you this. How is LSU ranked 5 spots ahead of Florida when we just beat them? But I digress. Georgia has Evander Holyfield's son, Elijah Holyfield. I don't care so much about Georgia, but here's him.
Swift's last 2 carries for 12 and then 18, and now it's back to Holyfield up the middle.
Oh, man. He is built for this, it looks like.
His father used to punch like this. Look at this. Bang.
Don't get used to that, Holyfield. It's not happening against the Gators. Frank, are you intrigued?
Little known fact, during Izzy's 7 years at Gainesville, Florida never lost to Georgia. Georgia, though, losing at LSU. Now they're in a lot of trouble if you want to get back to that national championship game.
4.5 years. Papi, are you intrigued?
Oh, see, I'm very intrigued. But here, everybody here is rooting for Florida. But I got news for you. You know, Georgia is going to kick the living out of Florida. You know what I mean? And those who are rooting for Florida now, they are going to be embarrassed after the game. You know, after the game, they might not want to shop anymore.
You know I don't have to be here, right?
I know what you mean.
No, I don't think you do.
Sunday on CBS, Jets and Bears.
Not really. A couple teams who are going nowhere, still trying to figure out if their quarterbacks are elite or not, the 2 young guys in Darnold and Trubisky. But yet last week, Trubisky had this near touchdown pass, which was pretty impressive. I don't really know if you celebrate this, because it is a heck of a completion, but it's so aggravating to lose a game that way. Frank, how about you? Are you intrigued?
You know, I am intrigued. The Patriots were defending that play, though. Bill Belichick had everybody back, and I think that they knew exactly what they were doing. Bill Belichick's not getting beat on a play like this. The Jets could be a different story. You mentioned Sam Darnold, up and down like a typical rookie, but he might have been a better pick than Saquon Barkley, just telling you.
How about you, Dan? Are you intrigued?
I don't care about this. I'm at the beach. I'm relaxing. I wanted a day away from my father. Why did you guys FedEx me these CO no cards? I'm not doing this with you.
Why the hell are you wearing a suit on the beach? How about you, Papi? Are you intrigued?
Oh, see, I'm very intrigued. Are you kidding me? That's going to be a hell of a matchup, you know, because the Jets are coming through, buddy. The Jets are coming through, you know. They're going to put up a hell of a game. They're going to surprise everybody. They're going to run all over the Bears, you know what I mean? This guy, Trubisky, is going to look like a fool after the game, you know? That's going to be my prediction. And you know who's going to feel worse?
Oh.
Wilbaum.
One day, Wilbon will watch this show. One day.
Sunday on Fox Sports Oklahoma, Suns and Thunder.
As intriguing as that Thunder team is, the Suns make everybody look really good, so not really interested. So to preview this game, naturally, we take you to a photo spread by Russell Westbrook in a German magazine. He looks so happy. That's so unnatural. Is this from, like, Step Brothers? What is this?
That's the background from your high school photos.
I mean, it looks like it. It really does look like it. That is an interesting fashion spread. Frank, are you intrigued?
No, I'm not intrigued by the game. I'm not intrigued by the fashion spread. Russell Westbrook could do a lot better than that.
How about you, Dan? I know you're busy, but are you intrigued?
Given the background, shouldn't this be oui or no? I don't know how to say this in French. I don't care. I don't care about this. There are things in French I know how to say that I want to say right now, but I don't care.
Great. Now the French are really going to hate us. How about you, Papi? Are you intrigued?
Oh, see, I'm very intrigued. But listen, that's not how you do a photo spread. This is how you do a photo spread.
I was hoping for some sort of change-up. I was hoping for a surprise element. I was hoping not to see myself on those really hot tracks once again.
Izzy's head on my body. Photoshopped again. Not right.
Tonight on NBA TV, Warriors and Knicks.
Oh, CC, so many C's. Coming off that 51-point game, Steph Curry's going to New York. I'm telling you, if he plays the second half, he might not need to play the second half. The Knicks are that bad. If he plays the second half, he's putting up 60. And maybe even with shots like this that he tried in the layup line before last night's game.
Watch the Euro step. Oh, bounces it in. Now watch the reaction.
Oh. I mean, how do you not love to watch this guy play?
Euro,
not even play, just warm up.
Euro. But how does he make... he's putting a lot of English on it because when it hits, It's got to now bounce forward. Look at that.
I mean, I couldn't.
That's a trick
I
shot.
could not do that in 1,000 tries. Frank, are you intrigued?
Absolutely, I'll be there on Friday night. By the way, maybe you didn't hear, but the Knicks are going to have a lot of salary cap space. Kevin Durant is a free agent. This is their big dress rehearsal.
No idea where in the world you are, but Dan, are you intrigued?
I want you to imagine me in the bathroom right now at the club like Jay Cutler. Don't care.
Yeah, so I never want to picture Dan going to the restroom. How about you, Papi? Are you intrigued?
Oh, see, I'm very intrigued. But did you see he's laid up during the game?
This was good.
What? No. Get out of here, man. This is entirely unnecessary. Give him 10 more points for that just because. He scored 61 last night.
Unfortunately, it didn't count, but it was still impressive.
It counts.
That's all the time we have for today. Thank you for watching.
Thanks for watching. Frank and I are gone next week. That means Dan's back.
Ring, ring, ring.
Let's go.
Hello? Hey, Dan, how are you, buddy? Everything good? Yeah, the show went very well, yeah. Izzy and Frank, yeah, they're doing the show with me. Oh, these guys are pretty good, yeah. Huh? Yeah? You want to talk to Frank? All right, hold on for a second. Here you are, Frank. I got him!
I thought he wanted to talk to me. I had something I wanted to tell him. You dirty rat.